What would be the storybook ending for this season? And I don't think it's a 9-8 finish, although regular
No.
season records don't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got to get into the playoffs, but the real storybook would be finding a way, and there's a possibility. I was going through this schedule, and there's a possibility that the 49ers and Rams can both make the playoffs. A realistic possibility here, not just like a pipe dream. So if that happens, if you can then beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game on the road, right? Rams win the division, so
Knock
you
out
snuck in.
Stafford. Jimmy's on the
Wait.
field.
Wow, I like this. This is even better. But you find a way to beat the Rams on the road. So you get the demon from 3 years ago off your back, and now you get to go to the Super Bowl. You know you're playing Kansas City. And let's think about everything that's happened this year. Everything that's happened from the back and forth with Brandon Ayuk, and to see him go down with a season-ending injury. You have Hargrave go down with a season-ending injury. You had Trent holding out. You had CMC not starting the season, and Dre Greenlaw not starting the season. Ricky Pearsall, your number one pick, gets shot. But then everybody finds a way to get healthy and come together. Not Ayuk, obviously, and Hargrave, but the other guys. They find a way to be their best when it matters most. You beat the Rams, you get into the Super Bowl, and by hook or crook, some way, somehow, you finally beat the Kansas City Chiefs in overtime, nonetheless, because you got to get that one back. I don't know, man. I feel like that's the one way that the 49ers could somehow wipe away all their previous sins. And who cares about the fact that they should have had 3 Super Bowls by now? I can get over it if you beat the Rams and then back it up by beating the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that'd be kind of a storybook.
Also, they play the Packers at some point in the playoffs, and Garendo goes for 220 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns.
Ooh, I like it.
Also, at the trade deadline, they trade for Trey Lance.
Just righting all the wrongs.
Yeah, they trade for Trey Lance, bring him back, and then he has to play for like a game,
a quarter.
And he does well. He wins, and he's part of the story. And then Brock comes back, and he has to play Jimmy in the playoffs. It's Brock against Jimmy.
Oh my gosh!
And Azeez Ojulari makes the game-winning sack for the 49ers. And then they go to the Super Bowl and they play the Chiefs, and this time it's overtime again, and they win the coin toss again. And Kyle takes the ball second.
Takes the ball. No, he takes the ball first, but he gets a touchdown and gets the 2-point conversion. The Chiefs get a touchdown, fail on the 2-point conversion, and Kyle's like, "See, that's why you take the ball. Told you, Grant."
At the post-game press conference, he just says, "Look, everyone is expecting me to dunk on Grant, but what I want to say is now that I've finally become a champion, I've become a more generous person, and I want to say thank you, Grant, for pushing me, and I've really enjoyed this back and forth. Would you like to work for the organization? Here's $3 million." That's a storybook ending.
He looks at you right after they win the Super Bowl, and he goes, much like he did in the locker room this week, he goes,
"How was that, Grant?
Good, Grant? How was that, Grant?"
And I'll just be like way in the press box like this. Thumbs up. And we'll just like start nodding at each other from like 300 yards away. Slow nod.
Yeah, the whole way. Right at the end, the record scratches and he hugs Brock and not you. It's like, oh, dang, I thought it was going to happen.
Darn. David Lombardi pops up. It's like, "Hey, who asked you to be here?" Starts filming it, the whole thing.
Of course, yeah. That's the real storybook ending. Oh my God. I have a feeling
Ricky Pearsall has to do something in the Super Bowl. Ricky Pearsall he's the Super Bowl MVP. No, Jawan Jennings is the Super Bowl MVP because he should have been last time.
But he throws a touchdown to Ricky Pearsall.
Oh my God. I love that.
Just saying.
Brock Purdy runs for 150 yards in the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
But he slides before he gets to the goal line every time, so Garendo can score.
Garendo can score, making up for the whole. See how you brought it back around? I like it.
See that? Yeah.
I like it.
I like the storybook thing. I think we should be the script writers.
I think so. If we're writing a script
here's the thing.
for 49ers.
They sneak into the playoffs with a 9-8 record. Okay.
Like they need 5 things to happen the final week and they all go their way. Everything just breaks their way.
Like they lose. Let's say they win the next 2, but they lose 4 in a row to go to 6-8. Then they lose to Miami. They lose 5 in a row. They're on the brink. No, they have to get 9 wins to win.
They have to get 9 wins. Yeah.
So then they win out to get to 9 wins, and they just never lose again. And they just find ways to keep trucking along. How about that? On the road.
How about them apples?
Environments.
I like it. It's good, man.
Kyle Shanahan gets a lead and doesn't give it up in dramatic fashion.
No. He does give it up. He gives it up, but then he also comes back. It's like a comeback from the comeback. You didn't think about it that way.
That's true, because he changes and he looks inside himself. I like that.
Can you imagine?
Like that.
Good.
Brandon Staley and Nick Sorensen join forces like Power Rangers in a Megazord, and they're in a big, and they work together. They're like, you know what I'm saying? When all the Power Rangers would jump into that, and they'd be like working together, and they'd be like one fighting the other. That's them. Yes,
I like
a Megazord of defensive coordinators.
I like it.
Brian Schneider stops being worse and just becomes kind of mediocre. Brian Schneider.
Just mediocre. That's the storybook ending. He makes it to mediocre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, we tried to write it in. There's just only so much we can do. Mediocre is
the audience wouldn't buy that.
Yeah. It was good. It was believable.
It just wouldn't be realistic. Sorry.
Up until then.
Yeah.
Until we said that Schneider was going to become really, really good. Yeah, okay, you had me until that part. No, that's good.
I would watch that movie. LVL7 says Aziz reuniting with his brother in AZ. Nice try to Grant. Niners going 7-10. Cardinals going 11-6. Comes down to the wire with the Rams. This is the second Cardinals fan in the world. Me being the first.
Hold on a second. I do. You go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull up the Cardinal schedule because I'm telling you it's really easy.
Dave Barclay says if Niners see Chiefs in bowl again, please no OT.
Okay.
No problem. Kyle's learned. I taught him. Helped him. Dave Barclay says, are both of you 100% wrong going to the playoffs? Are both of you 100% we're going to the playoffs? I don't know where that wrong came from. Not 100%, but
no.
The division's so weak, it seems like you could win it with 9 wins, although the Niners haven't won any games in their division. That makes it hard.
Okay. You ready for their schedule just real quick?
Yeah.
They play Chicago, Jets, bye week, Seattle, Minnesota, Seattle, New England, Carolina, Rams, 49ers. That's a very, very doable schedule down the stretch. Much easier than what we've got, that's for sure.
It's true. Lorenzo Pinto hopes our storybook ending happens. It was a good storybook ending. Dave Barclay says, did we just become Voltron? Voltron was what I was going for. A Brandon Staley, Nick Sorensen, Voltron of sorts.
Voltron.
I think it's the best way to work it out. The division of labor. Belichick 2024 says Kyle has traffic court Sorensen as head coach for the Super Bowl. How about that? Interim head coach Nick Sorensen wins the Super Bowl.
Here's the Rams schedule real quick, just so that everybody knows. Rams play the Seahawks, Dolphins, Patriots, Eagles, Saints, Bills, 49ers, Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks. It's a pretty easy schedule too. 49ers have their work cut out for them, man. They really do. That 4-4 start hurt.
They better beat the Bears. That's all I'm saying. Carson says storybook ending. Steve Wilkes joins the Chiefs coaching staff and beats Shanny in the Super Bowl.
God, dude, that's not the storybook ending. It's not a storybook ending. That's quite the opposite, actually.
They go to the Super Bowl. Mahomes gets hurt. Carson Wentz comes in.
Oh, Carson Wentz always beats the 49ers. I was going to say he always beats the 49ers. That's not going to work.
Juan Jimenez says Kyle feeds Tang to ball 20 times in the Super Bowl. Tang MVP. God, that would love that. I need that.